This is Akashvani. In the weekly program Current Affairs, now we bring you a discussion on New Delhi Declaration on Artificial Intelligence, Safe, Secure and Trustworthy AI. The participants are Jiten Kumar Jain, Information and Technology Expert, and Gaura Dhawanlal, Anchor.
Hello and welcome to our program. India, the chair of the Global Partnership on Artificial Intelligence, GPAI, successfully hosted the GPAI Summit from December 12th to 14th, 2023 in New Delhi. Over the past 3 days, around 30 sessions were organized, which were attended by global AI experts from GPAI, international organizations, the industry, startups, and academia. And today, our topic for discussion is New Delhi Declaration on AI, Safe, Secure and Trustworthy. Please join me in welcoming two of our guests, cyber expert Jiten Jain.
Thank you.
So Jatin, when we talk of AI, you're a cybersecurity expert. This is an area where many of us really don't know much. It's a gray area. And there is so much of information circulating that sometimes, we really wonder what to believe and what not to believe. So innovation or safety? And I think somewhere this has been the dilemma that India's always actually moved and said, we want it safe, we want it secure, but we also realize that innovation in this field, you can't block it by putting in too many checks and balances. So has the Delhi Declaration found a middle path between promotion and regulation of AI?
See, in last 5 to 6 years, we have seen phenomenal development in research and innovation in artificial intelligence and machine learning.
Right.
We have seen immense benefit. I mean, for common man, if you see, we have seen the emergence of Chat GPT, which can write poems for you, which can do assignments, which can do any, writing task you could ever imagine in the world. And then we also have in the last 3 years seen AI being used for big data analytics to draw patterns among big data, use it for commercial promotions, use it for analytics of public surveys. And in those emergence of those products, we have also seen the emergence of weaponization of AI by destructive elements. We have seen usage of artificial intelligence to create deepfake videos. We have seen terrorists using artificial intelligence to launch massive cyber attacks. We have seen hackers using automated AI-based tools to launch massive hacking campaigns against state institutions. So world across has been worried about the potential of destruction AI or the misuse of AI can cause. And one of this very fundamental purpose of this Delhi Declaration in this, global partnership on artificial intelligence summit was to bring all stakeholders across the world, all platforms across the world to New Delhi and come to a consensus that, if all of us can have some common platform to ensure that we are advancing, on a safe, secure and trustworthy AI research and innovation. And we do commit ourselves to ensure that we will also, support the sustainability projects using AI in different sectors like telecom, biological research, medicine, health, and other sectors. Because that is how the countries, especially in Middle Eastern countries in Africa and Southern Asia, will leapfrog the development by using technology and digital public infrastructure. So one of the fundamental purpose of the Prime Minister and the summit was to ensure that we can get all big stakeholders under one roof to commit to the safe and ethical use of AI.
Right. So when we talk of, and it's a strong term, a weaponization of AI, and India has actually moved from a position of saying no regulation to taking legislative action to curb misuse of AI. Coming back to the domestic scenario, do you think because, the rate of change is so fast that, it takes actually no time for things to become out of context or obsolete? Do you think we are well on the way of actually ensuring that legislation comes in fast?
Honestly speaking, there is no clear answer to this. Across the world, even developed countries have struggled to have legislations in place to deal with the emerging technology. The world was struggling to cope up with the emergence of social media. The world was copying and struggling to bring some sort of legislation to have some sort of surveillance and oversight on these P2P chatting apps like WhatsApp and encrypted chatting apps like Telegram and all. Now we have seen the emergence of AI where probably for the first time technology is knocking the doors of humanity to probably replace us or probably outcast us or do better than us.
Right.
Or at least, in some sort of at least throwing a threat at some point of time, we will have sentimental AI where AI will also have emotions other than doing what it is being trained for. So this danger of AI being someday becoming more intelligent and more conscious than humans is actually a threat. And that is why leaders across the world like Elon Musk and OpenAI Foundation and people have been writing letters to come to an understanding to pause the development and research in AI till such time we create a legislative framework or a regulatory framework across the world where we can ensure that research and innovation in AI will only and only be used for ethical purposes, where we are able to ensure that terrorists are not able to use artificial intelligence to launch cyber attacks, hacking campaigns, where hostile or dictatorship regimes are not able to use artificial intelligence to create automated killing robots. They're not able to use artificial intelligence for human gene editing and manipulating human DNAs or creating some sort of intelligent viruses. So the potential AI can do for the development of humanity is phenomenal, but the potential of disruptive elements using AI and weaponizing it for the destruction of humanity is even bigger. And that is why regulation is much more important. Every country across the world, including US, UK, or name any country, including India, has struggled to come up with a legislation to regulate AI. And yes, at least now they are trying to come to a consensus that where we can have a framework and regulation in place soon, maybe someday.
So you speak of, consensus. In fact, climate change was one thing which started as global warming, and now we call it climate change. A use of change of terminology. I think probably more towards normalization of the phenomena. But to say, without going into the semantics of it, but wanting to understand from you that it took so much time because countries had vested interests, carbon footprints were long, different, and the stages at which economies were progressing, we were in different stages. And I think the developed economies had a huge impact on developing economies in terms of global warming. But now, in this case, do you think there's enough global understanding and recognition that, we have to work on this together? We're all connected, and none of us are in silos, that we can have our own little framework and not let anything else infiltrate?
No, of course there is a understanding across the world that there has to be some sort of regulation. But I think like they say in Hindi, हाथी के दांत दिखाने के कुछ और खाने के कुछ और होते हैं. People are double faced. Countries are double faced.
Okay.
I mean, you can't imagine a country like South Korea or a dictator like Kim Jong-un would give up on an opportunity to develop AI-based killer robots or AI-enabled intelligent drones which can give him military's immense military power, which can give him capability and edge in the asymmetric warfare. So all the countries which have lacked, powerful militaries, which have lacked money, they have now figured out that they can use technology and especially AI and machine learning to, create automated weapons, automated unmanned aerial vehicles, automated undersea vehicles to boost up their military capabilities. And no matter what they talk in the public forums, they will not give away the research or the innovations in AI for the weaponization of their military and some unethical purposes to have an edge over their adversaries.
Right. So, in the Delhi Declaration, we've said that the global framework for the use of AI should be rooted in democratic values and human rights, safeguarding our dignity and well-being.
But that's how many countries, how many democratic and peace-loving countries are there in the world today?
Fair.
Anyways, you're seeing two of the Security Council members going for a full-scale war, killing thousands of people. Do you expect them to pause AI and not you? I mean, we have heard Israel using artificial intelligence to map targets in Gaza. But that will grow anyways. I mean, it may be a news today, but going forward, every military in the world will use artificial intelligence for data analytics and then map targets for efficient use. One of the purpose Israel is using it to minimize the civilian casualties by predictive analysis.
Right. In fact, you're absolutely right, because vested interests are so many, and I think priorities with different countries are different. But wanting again to bring you back to the context of India, and this is a country where, of course, we have many people, many demographics, and I think many areas in which we are able to provide cutting-edge solutions across the world, whether it's in space or whether it's in different areas of technology. What role do you think India can play in actually getting safe, secure AI, not only providing the guidelines, but also means and methodologies whereby we can be forerunners in this?
There are two things which are needed for a successful artificial intelligence research and innovation. One is the trained manpower on IT. Second is the data pool on which you can train your AI engine or an AI model. India today is home to the largest technical population in the world. We were already the outsourcing capital of the world. We were already the IT superpower of the world. So we have got in-house technical guys in place who have got a very good, command over, IT skills and the coding. And they are now transitioning to AI. And that is why you see any vacancy in the world for artificial intelligence today, majority of them, almost 60% of them are filled by Indian origin people or students. Now, second, because we are now one fifth of the world's population, we are 140 crore people. The way India has digitalized itself in last 10 years and last one decade, where every single public service has almost gone line light from your certificates to hospitals to your national entities to your tenders to your toll taxes, we are generating voluminous amount of data, and that data today is a treasure stone. I mean, that is a gold mine to train AI models. So we have got our infrastructure in place, we have got our people in place. Now we are trying to put our position in the world in place by creating regulatory frameworks and rightfully occupying our place. Now, India is also has already developed the AI research analytics and knowledge dissemination platform to help startups train their models, which is called Aravat, a short form, this AI research knowledge dissemination platform. And India is also launching a national program on artificial intelligence so that our ecosystem, our startups, our researchers can use that data available with the government, that infrastructure available with the government, without spending much money to develop their own products. So I think this is what India is doing. And if you look at the sessions which this whole summit hosted, we had discussed how artificial intelligence can be used in health sector for telemedicine and all, for by using biological sensors to create health data, how we can use AI in education, how we can use probably AI in other forums like transport and emerging technologies and shipping and all. So I think there is a for education and upskilling, AI has a huge potential today. Likewise for health, especially for what companies would have taken 60, 70 years for researching an antidote of a virus. Today they are able to do it in one year or less than 1 year by using AI and technology. So I think there is huge potential. And that is why government is trying now to catch the bus. We missed the first and second industrial revolutions. Government is trying to ensure that India does not miss the digital revolution, rather leads it. And that is why all the efforts of the government are in place today with full power of government to help our sectors grow, and then also ensure that India finds a rightful place in the world wherever or whenever AI regulatory framework is developed or a AI regulatory body is developed. India should have a rightful role in that.
So you spoke of education and health, and of course, when we look at the role of the private sector and of the government, so private sector, enough commercial opportunity in this area. Government sector, huge social opportunity. And, as you spoke about education and health, how do you think? So in terms of the support and the relationship between the private sector and the government in this, how would you think would be the best way for it to pan out? Would the government also be a competitor to the private sector, or just for checks and balances, for guides, for putting in regulations? How would you see this moving?
No, I think government has got three roles. One is to become the role of a facilitator by creating regulatory frameworks, and also by sharing government data in a structured manner, or the data of our citizens in a structured manner only with Indian companies, so that they can train their models better, and also ensuring that foreign companies are not able to utilize Indian data to train their models, so that our sector has a competitive edge where the data of Indians is used to train Indian models, not on foreign models. Third, government also can become a force multiplier by taking our products across the world, by finding place in the bodies like India has been taking a lead in the climate action by forming Solar Alliance. So tomorrow, if there was to be an alliance of national alliance of international alliance on AI, India should lead it, and that is the purpose. So I think government has a role to play a role of a facilitator for the sector. Government has a role to play a role of a regulator. Government also has a role to be the infrastructure provider for our sector. I mean, people can't afford, huge models, data centers, and learning models or data for their tools. They have to buy it. So government can provide it on the lease basis or on the crowdsourcing basis to our sectors. So government does have a role in facilitator, and private sector has to find the skilled manpower. Private sector has to find technology. They have to innovate, and they have to develop products. And together, I mean, they can take India in AI as a world leader.
Right. You earlier spoke about data, and data is, of course, the new resource, the new wealth, and you very beautifully put it across when you were speaking earlier. Talking in terms of how safe is data, do we have checks and balances for data safety within the country in the last few years? I know we've really moved in it, but data is secure in India?
I mean, data is never 100% secure in any part of the world. If anybody says that there is a 100% cybersecurity, it's a myth. I mean,
Okay.
we do ensure that 99.9% of our best efforts and then ensure that our data and our storages are safe. And government is also trying to do with it. Now, you also have to understand that a 0.01% fear of data being leaked should not hamper or stop the progress, which will help us in leapfrogging 2 or 3 generations and becoming a developed country by 40 or 45. So I think that calculated risk has to be taken. But see, now people have already been using public data, what is available. Your people are using publicly available voice and audios of celebrities and politicians to create deepfake videos. People are already using publicly available data in Google to train their generative AI models for predictive intelligence for writing poems and doing mundane tasks and writing books.
Right.
So, see, whether you do it or not, some actor who has found technological competence or some country which has will anyways do it. So whether you like it or dislike it, but if you cannot avoid it, you have to welcome it. And this is what I say, that whether you may like the Indian posture of cybersecurity, but you can't avoid it, and you should welcome it. So I think we must move with our best foot forward without worrying about so many other things. We will deal with them as the time comes and when we have to cross the bridge.
I think, absolutely well framed. Here to understand for all of us that, when we talk of data security, data safety, a lot of that rests in the hands of the people whose data it is also. How do we handle data? And I would not like to let this opportunity pass, since we have you on the show with us, as to what is the role that people to whom the data belongs, what is their role in ensuring that data remains safe?
I think we have to be a very vigilant society. We have to have cyber awareness. We have to disseminate cyber awareness at our homes, in our societies, and our schools, so that we become a cyber aware society. Government is also running a massive cyber awareness program. Parliament has just passed a data protection bill, so that data, these social media platforms or big companies which collect our data are only able to use data for that specific purpose, are not able to sell or leak or take away or steal our data for any other purposes like marketing or train their own AI models. So government has already passed the legislation. The rules are to be notified, but more or less will come through it in 5 or 6 months. We'll have data protection regime in India. We'll have one of the but that is the role of the government. No government can defend the personal cyber security of an individual. The personal data, the personal cyber safety of an individual lies in his own hands. So be a cyber aware citizen. Think twice before whom you are giving your data to. This habit of randomly throwing your mobile numbers and email IDs in every notebook, in every hotel, in every restaurant, in every online platform, do away with that habit. Try to minimize your original data's use in public, so that the data's value becomes exponential, and you should be able to monetize your own data, not a third party.
Right. We, know that India is a young country. And Jitin, in this young country, we like to encourage the culture of the entrepreneurial spirit. Startup India, has been a success, and many young people are now looking at becoming, job givers rather than job seekers. AI is now a sunrise industry. What is the role of startups, and how much more support do you think that we really need to give them to, as you said, not miss this opportunity?
See, I am one of the beneficiaries of Startup India scheme. I run 2 successful startups, and it could not have been possible without the way government has forward the Digital India program and Startup India program. Many of us has benefited immensely from these platforms.
Right.
Government has, government, instead of being an obstacle, has started turning into a stepping stone, where we are not seeing government as a problem, we are seeing government as a solution. So this is where probably lies an opportunity for Indian startups, that they don't have to worry about any government regulatory framework. It will always be in their favor. They just have to focus on innovation and technological research. If you are able to do that, then monetizing that product, publicizing that product, or taking that product to the world scale, there are ample programs within the government and opportunities to do that. So I think it is one of the most amazing moments in India's history, where startups are standing on the pedestal of success. All they need is one small jump of innovation.
Right. So when we look at what the Delhi Declaration also spoke about, safe, secure, and trustworthy, and there are young people who want to move into this area of saying, okay, AI, and there's a lot of talk going on. I have a project. Would this be the lens also? Would this be an important lens for them to see their project through?
Yeah, of course. I mean, you see, in Startup India programs also, you can seek subsidies, you can seek tax exemptions, you can, collaborate with many of the government ministries or PSUs like, NEGD. They are scouting for good AI products. They are funding the products. So I think this is already happening. All you need is just a good technological idea or innovation in place.
Right. Okay.
And very soon, maybe a year from now, we will see a AI-based anchor and the AI-based guest hosting this talk session on All India Radio. So even those times are yet to are about to come.
Well, I don't know. So that's the balance. We say, is it exciting? Is it confidence building, or is it fearful? In fact, when AI came in and they said, the creative jobs are going to stay and the routine and mundane are going to go.
On a very humorous note, All India Radio might soon be artificially intelligent radio.
Well, okay. Interesting change of name. But as of now, keeping this in context, so when we talk of this fear factor, that, jobs will be taken away, but we've seen that, now with GPT and all that, a lot of creative jobs are going. So is there any way to predict where AI is going to go?
No, not really. People initially thought that, if AI is able to write a poem, what will a poet do? If AI is able to write a book, what will a writer do? But no, not really. I mean, if you ask AI to write a poem about a politician today using generative AI, considering the current models, they will write almost similar poems for every politician. It will be able to write poem for a politician, but 90% of the content will be same for any politician. So now Google and many other companies have got tools where they are able to detect content which is created using generative AI, and they are able to blacklist it. So tomorrow, if you have to submit a college assignment or a school assignment or write a book by using generative AI, the plagiarism tools will be able to detect that. So original creativity will remain. That will find commercial gains. But at the same time, small repetitive mundane tasks like sending emails to a customer or reminders, or writing reviews or replying to a customer on customer support forums, all these small little mundane tasks might be taken over by AI, but then humans will find much more skilled jobs. I mean, people thought computer will kill all the jobs. No, today computer industry or IT industry is one of the biggest provider of jobs. Likewise, AI will provide more jobs than the ones it will take away.
Wanting your take now on, AI in education and AI for education. So we know that for education, it's a great tool to have a multiplier effect. But how much of AI do we learn in our curriculum, in our education system, and do we need to move faster to incorporate? Because we're looking at being the largest human resource capital, even to be AI literate and to be able to continue to progress and help AI progress.
Of course, I mean, one of the focus areas of this summit was how to use AI for, agriculture, education, and, healthcare. So, see, there was in fact a session in the conference which was called AI education and skilling, bridging the talent gap. And there were a lot of luminaries like, Gokul Subramaniam, Intel's India's president, and, from people from UNESCO, and all those people were there.
Right.
And they all understood that, probably education fulfills its purpose only when it is aligned with the workplace. So we, from last year, we do have a new national education policy in place, which is a game changer, which is introducing, flexible entry points and exit points of learning, coding, computer ecosystem, IT to the people right from the grade six. So there is an attempt to groom our talent, our students in this sector right from the sixth class or seventh class. So that probably can happen by the use of artificial intelligence. We have seen already, a couple of tech companies like Unacademy, Bejus using artificial intelligence to develop their own products. So AI will play a role, if not directly, then probably indirectly by helping edtech companies develop good products, and then they helping students learn at public scale.
Right.
Like, probably bringing the cost of quality education much cheaper and much affordable.
Right, absolutely. Now, in terms of, you spoke about agriculture and AI, huge area, green opportunity, no pun intended, for India.
I think Prime Minister has, right when he visited Israel almost 4 5 years ago, he has been talking about how we can use AI or for the smart agriculture by predicting the climate pattern, by predicting the crops, by probably editing or doing some gene editing in the crops to have better harvest, or probably able to forecast the weather and tell farmers which crop to go in which season, so that they can make more money. So I think, see, there is a problem in India. आज किसान का बेटा किसान नहीं बनना चाहता because he doesn't think that there is a good money in the agricultural sector. He wants to do some other job.
True.
So one of the ways you can use AI, let's say for hydroponics or vertical farming or smart farming, I mean, you can make this sector much more attractable to the youngsters to have, I mean, you can use AI for climate action and then you can use AI for smart farming, organic farms and all. Many of the startups are now coming in. Elon Musk's own brother is running one of the biggest companies, AI, which is into agriculture and hydroponic farms. So I think AI provides a new opportunity to attract youngsters again back to, smart farming and thereby just rejuvenating the sector to a new scale.
Right. So AI and intellectual property and protecting innovation, that is also a critical area. Where are we in India? Because, protecting patents, getting patents and protecting intellectual property is an area we did wake up rather late, though we have woken up now.
See, one of the problems with the very emergence of AI is that first you have to protect your own intellectual property from AI. I mean, you have to protect your own content from Google from sucking it in and training its own AI model and then using generative AI to rewrite it. So that is the fundamental challenge, not that how do you use AI to protect your IP, how do you protect your own IP from AI? It should be the fundamental question. Then, of course, you can use AI-enabled tools to scout for any copyright infringements for exchanges happening across different platforms. So I think this is one of the emerging areas. But right now, at the state we are in, I think whatever products we develop in AI, first thing is that we should have intellectual property rights over these products so that other companies are not able to claim it or buy it, like it happened, many almost a century ago. कि आपने बासमती बनाया सब बनाया but हमने patent नहीं कराया. And then companies ran for patents and claimed everything.
Right.
So whatever we develop in AI sector first has to be patented. Second, there is also an emerging challenge. The majority of the AI patents today is being filed from China. So that poses a strategic threat, to us by the, the kind of development and the capability that hostile country is having. So we also have to focus on that. Third, and then obviously we have to focus at how do you then stop this AI bots or AI-enabled products by these big tech companies based out of West and China from sucking away your own intellectual property available online.
Jitin, thank you so much for telling us about AI safety security in a very trustworthy manner. So thank you for joining us on the program. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Always a pleasure.
You were listening to a discussion on New Delhi Declaration on Artificial Intelligence, Safe, Secure and Trustworthy AI. The participants were Jiten Kumar Jain, Information and Technology Expert, and Gaura Dhawan Lal, Anchor. This program was produced and presented by the News Services Division of Akashvani. You can listen to it on a mobile app, News on AIR. This program is also available on our YouTube channel, News on AIR Official. You may share your feedback about this program through email at airnsdtalks@gmail.com or WhatsApp on 9289094044.